Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to my dear honorable SSS and esteemed colleague of Islamization 7212. So the purpose of I'm making a video for today is to discuss a fascinating topic that combines cutting-edge science and the ethical foundations of Islamic thought. Today, we delve into the Islamic perspective on in vitro maturation for endangered species in Malaysia, ethical considerations and conservation. As we explore the intersections of health science, Islam and the environment, we are faced with crucial questions about bioethics and our responsibility as stewards or Khalifa of our planet. In vitro maturations holds great potential for preserving endangered species, but it also raises significant ethical concerns deeply rooted in Islamic teachings. So, throughout these presentations, we will delve into how Islamic principles shape our understanding of our ethical obligation towards creation, especially when it comes to utilizing advanced reproductive technology for conservation purpose. We will navigate the fascinating crossroads of science and faith, aiming to establish a framework that respects the sanctity of life while preserving biodiversity. By the end of our session, I hope we will have gained a deeper appreciation for the nuanced approach that Islam offers when addressing the challenge of health science and conservation in today's world. So, let us embark on this journey of discovery and contemplation together. Thank you for joining me. Malaysia is a country known for its lush rainforests and diverse wildlife. However, the rapid urbanization activity, such as deforestation and plantation, have had a significant negative impact on our ecology and biodiversity. It led to the problem of extinction, and in 2019, we sadly witnessed the complete extinction of Sumatran rhinos, and what's more, the Malayan tiger, which is the only tiger subspecies found in the Malay Peninsula, is now on the brink of extinction. Other animals like slow lories, Malayan sun bear, and proboscis monkey, which can be found on the island of Borneo, have also been classified as endangered on the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species. As we face increasing challenge in the survival of these endangered species, conservation efforts are turning to advanced technology like assisted reproductive technology, specifically in vitro maturation. Today, we will explore the Islamic perspective on the use of IVM to protect endangered species in Malaysia. This presentation will delve into the ethical consideration, scholarly opinion, and references to both academic literature and Quranic principles that guide these endeavors. Alright, now let us dive into the Islamic ethical framework and conservation. In Islamic teachings, there is a strong emphasis on Khalifah, which basically means taking care of earth and its resources. This includes the duty to preserve biodiversity, known as hifz, and maintain ecological balance, known as mizan. There is a Quranic verse from Surah Al-An'am, Juz 6 and ayah 141, that really drive this point home. The ayah sounds like this. وهو الذي أنشأ جنات معروشات وغير معروشات. The meanings of the ayat: and he, it is, who causes gardens to grow, both trellis and untrellis. This verse highlights the importance of responsible management and avoiding wastefulness, which are key principles when it comes to conserving natural habitats and species. Now, let us continue our presentation with ethical considerations of in vitro maturation. So, when it comes to in vitro maturation, there are some important ethical considerations to keep in mind. One of the key benefits of IVM is its contribution to the preservation of endangered species and their ecosystem. By preventing harm and allowing for controlled breeding, IVM plays a vital role in maintaining genetic diversity and ultimately preventing species extinction. Next, we will discuss about the ethical use of technology. So, in the context of Islamic ethics, the use of beneficial technology is encouraged as long as they align with ethical principles. In Malaysia, IVM is being used for endangered species with the aim of supporting biodiversity conservation and ecological sustainability. By doing so, it fulfills Islamic ethical standards and promotes the greater good. The next ethical framework we are going to talk about is animal welfare and compassion. In Islam, it is considered crucial to treat animals ethically, ma'ruf. When it comes to procedure like in vitro maturation for endangered species, the well-being of the animal should be the top priority. This means making sure they experience minimal stress and discomfort throughout the reproductive process. The goal of this combination. Let's now talk about what Islamic scholar thinks about in vitro maturation in the context of conservation. They have explored the ethical implications of using assisted reproductive technologies for endangered species. According to Dr. Muhammad Ghali and Islamic bioethics, ART, including IVM, can play a vital role in conservation efforts. He believed that as a Khalifa of the earth, it is our responsibility to use this technology. And Dr. Aisha Yusuf research focus on how IVM align with Islamic environmental ethics, especially when it comes to species conservation. Her work sheds light on the ethical considerations involved. Grand Mufti Sheikh Abdul Aziz Al-Sheikh also supports the use of ART to protect endangered species. He emphasized that Islamic ethics should guide our conservation effort. And Dr. Arif Ali Nayid has delved into the ethical aspect of genetic technology in conservation. He stresses the importance of ethical oversight and adherence to Islamic principles of justice and compassion. These scholars contribute to our understanding of how ART, including IVM, can be ethically justified and integrated into conservation practice while staying true to Islamic values. Now, we will see the practical applications and conservation efforts. In Malaysia, practical applications of in vitro maturation, which is IVM for endangered species, is important as a means of restoring and conserving biodiversity. Spinning one of the issues involved producing offsprings and reintroducing them into their native habitat. The intentional use of IVM technology in this regard not only contributes in securing the genetic diversity but also fulfills an essential part in the ecological restoration works throughout the region. Apart from that, some of the projects are primarily aimed at directly releasing the Malayan tigers and Sumatran rhinoceros into the places they originated from. And this work has been done by some of governments, government bodies and non-government bodies like BORA and Jabatan Penelitian Malaysia have done this in these efforts. Misery indexes of these animals, such as local deforestation and human invasion, are exactly rebuffed via control breeding, implementing IVM technology. And we can also take the Miza Oryx introduction scheme in the Arab Emirates as an example of IVM supporting the recovery of species. This project effectively reintroduced the oryx, a species that had once become extinct in the wild, to its original habitat. Moreover, some activities are designed to show that IVM is a reliable species conservation technique while mindful of the Islamic teachings allow such a project. As a part of this initiative, Malaysia aims not only at the preservation of its natural resource, but also at the proper fulfillment of its stewardship Khalifah duties as stipulated in Islamic moral value. Malaysia Environmental Conservation Project is characterized by a combination of scientific knowledge and ethical consideration, thus putting the emphasis on the provisions of the needed support to the living things produced by God for the generation to come. Now, we will see the practical applications and conservation efforts in Malaysia, practical applications of in vitro maturation, which is IVM for endangered species, is important as a means of restoring and conserving biodiversity. Spinning one of the issues involved producing offsprings and reintroducing them into their native habitat. The intentional use of IVM technology in this regard not only contributes in securing the genetic diversity but also fulfills an essential part in the ecological restoration works throughout the region. Apart from that, some of the projects are primarily aimed at directly releasing the Malayan tigers and Sumatran rhinoceros into the places they originated from. And this work has been done by some of government bodies and non-government bodies like BORA and Jabatan Penelitian Malaysia have done this in these efforts. Misery indexes of these animals, such as local deforestation and human invasion, are exactly rebuffed via control breeding, implementing IVM technology. And we can also take the Miza Oryx introduction scheme in the Arab Emirates as an example of IVM supporting the recovery of species. This project effectively reintroduced the oryx, a species that had once become extinct in the wild, to its original habitat. Moreover, some activities are designed to show that IVM is a reliable species conservation technique while mindful of the Islamic teachings allow such a project. As a part of this initiative, Malaysia aims not only at the preservation of its natural resource, but also at the proper fulfillment of its stewardship Khalifah duties as stipulated in Islamic moral value. Malaysia Environmental Conservation Project is characterized by a combination of scientific knowledge and ethical consideration, thus putting the emphasis on the provisions of the needed support to the living things produced by God for the generation to come. So, now for the conclusion, the Islamic approach to in vitro maturation for endangered species reveals the moral implications of ethical behavior, conservation ethics, and the careful use of the resources provided by natural world. In Malaysia, using this principle is a part of a larger program to protect the diversity of species and to provide for these creatures and their sensitive habitats. By combining religious principle and progress in the field of assisted reproductive technologies, doctors and rangers can use new innovations like IVM in the way that is acceptable and just. Indeed, this strategy is in line with the Islamic ideals of mercy, rahmah, equity, adil, and nature conservation, hima. The Islamic moral system, as set down by Islam, allows high-minded men to think about and also sustainably deploy IVM like on endangered species and their place of living for their safety. This view does not only present the necessity of preserving biological diversity, but also demonstrate the responsibility for maintaining a balanced ecology, which is Mizan. However, the Islamic standpoint on IVM for the endangered species of Malaysia initiates a perfect synthesis of morality and science, besides strictly abiding by the identified moral standards and ensuring corporate conscience. The country is dedicated to protect the endangered creatures for the next generations ahead, driving the Islamic concept of enjoying full authority and responsibility as steward, as a Khalifah of the earth. Before I end my video presentation, I would like to give my final thought about this title. So, as Islam provides a robust ethical framework supporting the use of technologies like IVM for endangered species conservation in Malaysia, this approach ensures the preservation of biodiversity and the approach to safeguard Allah Subhanahu wa Taala diverse creation for the future generation. Okay, so this is my reference for today's presentations, and thank you so much for your attention.